Hey everyone, Miff here, and welcome back to my playthrough of the Baldur's Gate Saga with SCS done in a completionist style. So I'm on a recording spree, recording right away from where we left off. We have acquired Minsk, and of course I have to change his script. He has many classic lines. He's going to travel with us for a while. I think I'm going to do something like this. And he also needs better equipment. We can give him this plate armor. Of course, we can finally give him this one spare two-handed sword. Kivin can have this splint mail. We can give him some potions. And I think I would like him to have also a bow. So we're going to quickly purchase that from the store. And we're going to finally go and go adventuring.
Business has been poor, what with the iron shortage.
And the adventures I have in mind might be a little dangerous. But what is life without a little danger, huh? Without a little risk? All right.
Indeed.
Alright, so first we're going to go to this area south of Nashkel, this one. We're not going to go into the mines because there's an event before that, and I want to trigger it a little bit later. So first we're going to go to this southern area.
It is done.
Oh, of course, Minsk, you also need a helmet. Have this one. Look cool. Oh, actually,
Let's talk more fight.
let's change his colors a little bit. And Kivin can have like a more brown, orange. And that's it for now, I think.
am here. Certainly.
Alright, so there's a couple of things interesting. Oh yeah, there's this hidden stash, and there's a reference to this stash as well a little bit later. So in here, we get access to the Cloudkill scroll. This is one of the 2 scrolls in the whole game. Very, very precious scroll. And Chromatic Orb.
Yes?
Cloudkill is a level 5 spell, so we're not going to be able to learn it until much later in the game, but of course you can cast it from a scroll if you need that. But as I said, there's only 2 of them in the game, so you would really have to pick a good fight to make use of that. Here's Albert. Apparently he can't find his dog. Excuse me, I ever so sorry. So he's a very little child. Have you no parents here to help thee? It's dangerous to be out all alone. Because, yeah, I've lost my little dog and I can't find him. Parents, yes, I'm here with some relatives, but they're away for a moment and I'm lost. We are thinking of moving here someday, but I don't know my way around yet. I can get home okay, but I just gotta get Ruffy back. Please, could you help? So that sounds a little enigmatic. Alright, certainly, little one. I would be glad to aid you. Poor Ruffy isn't used to strange places and people. You're sure to know him when you see him, because he's just the cutest little thing. So we receive his chew toy that will allow him to stay friendly to us. And he's just east of here, but there's also a party of hunters, I guess, that we are going to have a fight with. Some Zvarts spawned.
Possibly Frosty. What is my turn to save the day?
Yes?
The stuff of legend, right, Boo?
Right, Boo?
It is done.
Steel on steel. I am going to save before this, because... And let's reload for the battle music to fix itself. Anyway, this upcoming fight is a little notable, I guess, because we don't really have the tools to deal with it, but we will make do anyway. I'm mentioning the tools because in that party I think there are 2 archers and they are pretty dangerous. They have arrows +1. So, for example, using Jaheira's Entangle is not going to get us anywhere when it comes to that. And we don't really have any spells besides level 1 spells, so we might, Nira might cast Blind, but I think I'm going to use her Wand of Lightning instead of casting Blindness. And, but yeah, I just want to get them out of the way. Since we're in this area, I don't want to be back here.
I am here.
And they are level 5 or 6 even, I think. All 3 of them, I think, are level 6. So they are pretty tough fighters. And yeah, so basically the way we're going to dispose of them is going to be a little different.
Touch me not. You are unclean.
Unclean. She is Sendai, and if you're familiar with Baldur's Gate 2, you know of a character from Throne of Baal, also with that same name, Sendai. So here is a less powerful version, wielder of that, or user of that name. Travelers from the north, halt. You trespass quite deep into Amnian territory. Perhaps you have come to spy upon our supposed troop build-up. It's quite funny, the stupid notions you northern barbarians can get stuck in your heads. Are you saying that Am does not threaten Baldur's Gate? Of course not. Our mighty nation has better things to do than attack some self-important barbarian city. Anyway, anyhow, take our advice and go back from whence you came. We will be going nowhere. We have as much right to be here as you do. Why, it seems that we have stumbled upon some berserkers. I had suspected as much when I caught your scent a few moments ago, but your behavior clinches it. Delgad, Alexander. Let us make short work of these peasants. So she is very... She displays that kind of attitude of the nobles. And if you take a different dialogue path, I think she reveals that she is from the Argrim family, and in Baldur's Gate 2 we will meet that family. There's a certain Lord Ketlar Argrim in Baldur's Gate 2, who is a noble who hates mages in that game. So apparently she's a member of that royal, not royal, but noble family. Alright, so here we're going to do something that I like to call Armageddon tactics, which is something that we're going to be even better at later on in the game when we have more tools for it. But we can use this Potion of Explosions, for example. We can use the amulet of the Necklace of Missiles for some explosions. Actually, it's not you who's going to use it, you are going to use it. Because later on we're also going to have like wands of fire, and you might have another person with an arrow of detonation or something, and you can just make things explode, you know, make things go boom. So this with just 2 sources of fiery explosions, I guess this is not yet pure Armageddon tactics, but this is an early version of it. So there are going to be 2 archers with her. So like I said, we can't use some tools, and we don't even have almost any tools at our disposal. So I'm going to throw this Potion of Explosions. Minsk is going to use his Necklace of Missiles, and Shahira is going to use the Fear Wand. Also, one thing I forgot to mention about the Fear Wand is that it's better than the memorized spell Horror. That basically works the same way, because Horror, I think, gives you a +2 penalty bonus when you want to save against that kind of effect, if I remember correctly. We're going to confirm that later, or disconfirm, or whatever, later. But yeah, like I said, they are level 6, all of them, so they are immune to sleep. So unfortunately we can't really do much. Nira is going to wait for a little bit to see if she can use her lightning bolt in an effective way, and then I guess we're going to start damaging them from a distance with Kivin and Kirinai. Boom, 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 and that's it. Delgad and Sendai are already dead, and it seems Alexander... Oh, he died too. Wow, that was way easier than expected. So as you can see, Armageddon tactics at work. This is like one of my favorite things to do in Baldur's Gate 1. You can really like blow shit up in this game. In Baldur's Gate 2, of course, everything has way more HP, and you can't really do stuff like, well, you can do some similar tactics, I guess. They have some pretty good starting gear. Oh, here's a longbow for Minsk. I shouldn't have bought one. Anyway, as you can see, they sometimes have these better potions of extra healing. So we can scavenge or loot some of those. Then they have arrows +1. Can you identify them? Right. Nope. But we know that those are arrows +1. This is a longsword +1. What's your lore, Nira? 13? Alright, apparently it's not enough yet to identify some pretty basic +1 stuff. And magical leather armor, which you don't really have anyone to use for now. Kivin is going to carry some heavier stuff, I think. Or actually, Minsk can carry that. Oh yeah, let's keep looting. He died like on a step here that we can't access. That's why we weren't on top of his corpse, and she didn't have, you know, his things right here in the inventory, because you loot him from a little bit of a distance, I guess. So yeah, we have a lot of arrows +1 now, which is pretty good. This is a strength potion of Hill Giant Strength, as you can see, SCS. And it's not even all the potions, like I said. I'm not going to be able to retrieve all the potions. So here's Ruffy. He was hostile, but he turned friendly because we have his chewing toy. I didn't showcase that. So let's just lead him back to Albert. And there's going to be a little twist ending to this quest. You can also, like, kill Ruffy. You can, like, for example, throw the chew toy away, and he's going to be hostile, and you can kill him. But that's kind of an evil thing to do, but maybe not entirely, because there's going to be something unexpected that happens here. Okay, Albert, we brought your doggy back.
Certainly.
You funny looking.
Ruffy! Who's a fuzzy Ruffy? Who's a fuzzy little guy? I share these sentiments when it comes to dogs. Thank you just ever so much. I better take this lost little puppy home right away. Here, take this. It's another of his chew things, but we can get more where we're going. Thanks again. And he changes into a demon. Time to go home, Ruffy. You'll like the 9 hells better. And I think this is 9 hells much better than these cold climbs. And I think this is... well, he's either a devil and not a demon, but I think this is usually the demon look of the whole like Baldur route or type of them. And the 9 hells are actually the plane of devils. And what I'm referring to here is that demons and devils are engaged in a blood war, like an eternal war between themselves, because demons are chaotically evil aligned and the devils are lawful evil. And so anyway, they teleport away, and you can actually kill Albert, although he's pretty tough, but you only get 1,000 experience for killing him. He's not, you know, it's not worth it to do for experience, especially since you just get 1,000 anyway for doing his quest the good way, I guess. And now he gives us a black opal, so a gem that we can sell. Anyway, this is a major level up in a Kensai's life. Level 3 in general for any fighter is a pretty big one, but especially for a Kensai. So let's level up. You can see that you get a bonus to all of your saving throws. You get +1 weapon proficiency, and you get, of course, the +1 THAC0, as is usually the case. You get your hit points, and now that allows us to put a 3rd proficiency point in a chosen weapon, which is huge, or excuse me, huge, because this one. The third, the mastery in a weapon, the 3rd point, gives us another +2 to hit and +1 to damage. And on top of that, since we are a Kensai, kit description. Since we are a Kensai, we get that +1 to hit and damage every 3 levels bonus. So, all in all, this 3rd level, what that gave her is 1 THAC0 from a fighter level up, 2 THAC0 from the proficiency, 3rd proficiency point, and then 1 THAC0 from her Kensai bonus, and then 1 damage from the 3rd proficiency point, and 1 damage from the Kensai bonus. So all in all, +4 THAC0 and +2 damage. That is an awesome level up when it comes to the Kensai. Now we're starting to get somewhere. You know, her main hand THAC0 is 10 now. So pretty good. And she, of course, is starting to do some pretty good damage. And especially in Kirinai's case, that's the same thing again. We're going to put this point into dagger, and that's going to be our last point put into dagger, because just to recap from my introductory episode, the plan for her is to actually become a melee, backstabbing kind of character and combatant in Baldur's Gate 2 when she dual classes into a thief. So we're going to start pumping up Scimitar, Wakizashi, and Ninjato, this category, later. because the third point is really the most important here. In Baldur's Gate 1 you cannot reach Grand Mastery, and High Mastery just gives you +1 damage and like this -1 to speed factor, which is really not worth it. So we're not going to progress in daggers anymore, but we are great at throwing those daggers. So she got the same +4, +2 bonuses. Now she gets to do 11 to 14 damage with throwing daggers, and her Thaco is 9. Yes. Alright, so that's sweet. But we're not done with this area. I'm just going to quickly open up the area west of here. Come on. This one. This is going to be a major one. We can get the last 2 reputation points in that area. We're going to do that after this one, but we're not finished here yet. Some more Zvarts. So now Sinashira has 30 hit points, which makes me a little bit more at ease when it comes to her survival against these like common enemies like Zvarts and gnolls and stuff. Anyway, there's going to be a special fight here.
I am here.
We might try using blindness here, but we'll see if it's going to be effective.
Hello there.
Alright, so here's Vax and Zal. You can kind of kite Vax, like because he wants to initiate a conversation and he wants to get close to you in order to do that. You can kite him like away from Zal, but that's, you know, kind of cheap. That's not the point of this fight here, to do something like that. We can at least like spread out a little bit in preparation for what's going to happen here.
Yes, certainly.
Hey there, pal. Seems like your little party's wandered a bit off the beaten path. Well, that's too bad for you, cause you've had the misfortune of meeting the fastest draw in the West. See that man over yonder? His name's Zal, and he's the fastest dart thrower that has ever walked the Sword Coast. Now, if I were you, I wouldn't want to test the patience of such a man. So why don't you do the wise thing and hand over all your money? Otherwise you're going to be in a heap of trouble. And this is another good line. Are you some sort of moron? The fastest dart thrower in the West? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. Bring it on, Vax. You tell Zal to show us his stuff. Hear that, Zal? Seems they don't take you seriously. Guess it's time to show what for, huh? Sorry guys, but you're in for a world of hurt. Alright, so he is a pretty good dart thrower because he has a special pair of bracers that we are going to make use of once we kill them, of course. Alright, so we will send Jaheira over there to limit his dart throwing capabilities. And we might try casting blindness with Nira on him. So he quaffs a potion of defense, which is going to increase his... And well, let's finish up first. Potion of defense. We actually even have a potion like that, so I can show you. I realize I haven't been showing the effects of potions, but this one reduces armor class, your base armor class, to 0 for 2 hours. This is a really good potion for Kensai's as well. Or for Kensai, I guess there's no plural to there. Kind of like Jedi, I guess. And the Potion of Heroism just increases your hit points and decreases your Thaco, which means it improves your Thaco and improves your hit points temporarily. Alright, so of course he saved against that blindness. Whoa! 7 damage because of a crit. Darts have a really low base damage, it's 1d3, but because of that crit and his proficiency points and stuff, he was able to actually crit for 7. Alright, Vax died in melee there. As you can see, SCS targeting, you know, he really wanted to make most out of those, you know, darts of his, and yeah, wanted to interrupt her cast or just generally focus on a squishy party member, which ranged damage dealers in SCS, well, like doing that kind of thing. So we get some healing potions, those are standard, not from SCS. And we get these, Bracers of Archery, and we get some more Zvarts to kill. I guess we can take one of these armors. No. Heal Mira if you could. So I'm going to heal Sinashira. I don't really need Jaheira's help in combat. just to not waste time. I'm not using the... Oh, I haven't even showcased that. After that dream, we've gained this Cure Light Wounds, and this one actually doesn't have a casting time of 5. Since it's her special ability, it's actually instant, so it's a good heal to use in combat when you need it. It's kind of like another potion of healing, but you can use that on someone else who already used something in a round, for example. And this thing is Kai. This is the Kensai special ability, which I haven't shown. It's not that effective yet in Baldur's Gate 1 when we don't have a lot of attacks, but for the next 10 seconds, so almost 2 rounds, you deal maximum damage, which is going to be really cool with Kira and I being able to backstab in Baldur's Gate 2. And of course we also leveled up with Kivin, which I somehow forgot to do. He also gets a level 3 in Ranger, which is another big level for him. Unfortunately, as a Ranger, he cannot go over specialization, so he cannot put a 3rd point anywhere. But what we can do is pump up spears, so he can be a little bit more effective with that magical spear of his coming from the BG1 NPC Project, which we haven't yet identified, but you know, at least you know this makes sense with him. Alright, and also we got this these bracers. Those are braces of archery, and they increase your ranged Thaco by 2, which is really nice. Of course, Kensai cannot use bracers, so she cannot equip them. We're going to have him on Kivin for now. So as you can see, his Thaco went down from 13 to 11 because of the bracers. So he's going to be a bit more effective in his ranged combat. And now there's one more thing to do in this area. There's a reference to a show or a TV series or something called Newhart, which I don't personally know of, but that's a really famous one with the autograph here. What's our time? We can go on for a little longer. Right, so here's Larryl, Daryl, or Larry in here, Daryl and Daryl, 2 Daryls. So we can talk with them. Apparently this is a classic line from the show. And you can ask, if you choose this line, they're going to complain about, you know, this young generation not knowing, I guess, their references and stuff. But Larry, Daryl, and Daryl, hey, can I get your autographs? Yeah, so they scribble an autograph and go away. And you can have this autograph to Senashira and friends with love, Larry, Daryl, and Daryl.
Your concern?
So yeah, that's pretty much it. There's no area to be opened south of here because we are as south as Baldur's Gate 1 allows, and we already have the National Mines uncovered. So we're going to progress into this area. There's a lot to do in this one, and
I should rest now. I need sleep.
we are fatigued, but this is only the first stage of fatigue, so it's not that bad. I think we're going to do this this area with the fatigue and then rest in the next one. Alright, so as I said,
Ancient oak is in peril.
I shouldn't be talking over her, excuse that. But there's a quick 2 reputation that you can get from this area, and in general there's a lot to do in this area. So the Dryad of the Cloud Peaks speaks to us. Please, kind spirits, a wondrous ancient oak is in peril. It is about to be attacked by 2 who would defile the majesty of nature. They have avoided my charms and must be stopped before irreparable harm is done. Would you heed my plea? And of course you can do this quest in a variety of ways, but let's help her. Lead on. So they are apparently, although they seem dim of wit, as you will see, they still could do much damage. This way. And actually it depends whether, like, if you agree immediately to help her, the rewards differ. There's like a couple of different versions, even if you help her. It depends, like, if you demand a reward or if you help immediately, they are going to be slightly different.
It is done.
So you can, like, talk to them and, like, help them. He doesn't say much. You can't even talk to him, but here's the leader of the operation, I guess, Caldo.
Hey there. I'm Caldo. This is my brother Crumb.
So we think this here is a magic tree because it's all alone up here and so big. Probably got gnomes or pixies or something in it. So we're gonna bust it down and take any treasure. Ain't that right, Crumb? You wanna help? It's a big tree, probably got enough gold for all of us, so you can help them. Let's do it, big fella, but I'll not let you harm a branch on this tree. You'll have to go through me first. First or last, we probably go through you sometime. Get them, Crumb. Huh?
Me's gonna be rich.
Got me rich, yeah!
Your concern?
Alright, so this is just a
Yes, indeed.
simple fight.
Stand back and
Of course, they always want to target Nira.
Done. Your concern?
Whoops.
Indeed.
Fumbling with the controls a little bit.
what is my turn to save the
I
day?
must have.
Whoa! They are strong, dude. 20 damage to Senashira. Of course, she has that fatigue. But, yeah. They can be pretty dangerous in melee. I should have casted blind. We have plenty of blinds. That's a mistake on my part. Now let's use that and a potion in a second. These are some really good spoils that we can get from them, because this one is the belt that gives you an armor class boost against crushing weapons, which is very, very good, because not a lot of things in the game give you such a boost. So, well, let's give that to Jaheira for now. She's going to be like have a really good class, because you know her armor class from this Ankh plate mail is 1 for crushing, so she's going to have a bonus from the belt now, and of course she has a little bit better versus slashing and piercing, so she's going to have a nice armor class. But also we get this this you might be able to identify. Nope, still not. This is a club +1, so this is really nice for Jaheira to have a magical weapon to hit stuff with. That's going to be important in a couple of places.
My tree is in such pain.
So she's happy. We get +1 reputation for that.
Group needs not quite as much help as I
We get an antidote.
Yes?
And we're going to do a truly heroic deed in a second that is going to give us another reputation point. So we're going to be at 20 very soon. Oh, here's the cave wolf. I think I've... Whoa! I always do the same mistake. I should really do this with her.
Yes, certainly.
I'm really displaying how not to play here.
Stand back and watch
I am here.
this. What is it? Stand back and
Okay.
watch this.
You can get a magical halberd from here.
Indeed.
If you have a halberd user. You can give this to Kivin for now. So he has a magical halberd, a magical spear, and a composite bow. So he has some options to what he wants to use specifically. Now here we just need to open the area west of here, but like I've said, there's a lot to do in this area.
It is time for us to rest.
And Kivin is fatigued as well. I think I can still finish up this area in this
Casting
episode.
spells isn't as easy as I make it look.
So this is going to be an episode with some adventures in it. So in this bottom of this waterfall, we can find the corpse of a cat.
Your concern?
Everyone's becoming fatigued, unfortunately. And the quick loot allows us to quickly loot, which is pretty nice. I'm just going to bring Senashira up here because your whole party can get a little stuck here in these narrow passages. So he's a crying girl, Drian. Pixie, my cat, she was playing close to the waterfall and slipped. I hope she's alright. Well, we already have her cat.
I want my mommy.
It's alright, she's done this before. I guess Daddy will just have to raise her again. Here, you can have this scroll Daddy gave me. I can't read the words yet anyways. Yeah, of course, Jaheira being a druid doesn't like raising people, but she has actually a resurrection spell in Baldur's Gate 2. Druids normally don't have that one, but she has like a unique spell. Anyway. So this heroic deed has increased our reputation by yet another point, and now we are at a maximum of 20. So now we have the maximum discounts, the maximum benefit to the reaction of others coming from reputation.
That was a noble deed.
That was a noble deed. Yeah.
My turn.
Retrieving a cat. Careful, a crying girl. You know, no one wants that. Alright, so these winter wolves can actually be pretty dangerous. They have a kind of a magical cold attack, and they give a lot of experience if you kill them.
Indeed.
And they leave these winter wolf pelts that we can sell to that storekeep in Nashkel. And I think he gives us 500 gold for each one of those. So that's very nice. Let's just open up the Knoll Stronghold. We're not going to travel there just yet. There's still more to do in this area. Alright, this episode might be a little bit over 100. What am I even saying? Above a half an hour. But we're really finishing up here in this area.
Certainly. Your concern?
There are two more things. Two more. Yeah, here's Ingot.
Indeed.
He's a Gnoll that actually wants to talk with us instead of just straight up fighting. Fighting, I mean. Wretched Fortress. If you go there, go to conquer. So apparently he doesn't like the Gnoll stronghold there. What fortress do you mean? The fortress to the west. I wished to roast the captive when the others would rather let her live within that cellar. Fools. And now my brethren make me an exile from my own clan. Hear me, I shall taste her flesh yet. So he refers to the prisoner, Dinaher, that the Gnolls have imprisoned there, and from him we know that she yet lives. You wanted to eat sweet fair Dinaher? If Ingot knew that, the other Gnolls would have listened to him. The fact that she was sweet. Maybe Ingot can go back and convince them now. You shall go nowhere, and you shall never eat Dinaher. Evil meet sword. Sword meet evil. Roar! So this is the BG1 NPC Project edition, very fitting one. Actually, I also forgot to tell you, he activated his rage all on his own, which is actually a kind of a problematic ability, because while it gives him some cool immunities, you also, in combat, when there are enemies around, you lose control of him, and he actually can attack, you know, some of your own party members. So, although he's a ranger, he has this special berserk unique to him that he can't quite control. And this halberd that Ingot dropped here is a halberd added by the enhanced edition. It's called the Chesley's Crusher, I think. And it's kind of an interesting halberd, but it's not really worth it in my opinion. It's once we identify it, we're going to be able to talk a little bit more about it. But basically, the thing is, why can't I save? Oh, because Minsk is enraged. That's a little unfortunate. The halberd actually has more damage than your usual +1 halberd. It gives you like +4, I think. But it actually reduces the number of attacks you have per round to 1. So it's generally, in my opinion, better to have 1.5, at least that most fighters able to, or you know, classes able to wield a halberd are going to have 1.5. So I'd rather have a halberd +1 from that cave and have 1.5 attacks than that Chesley's Crusher. But at least in the beginning of the game you can use that for some increased damage. But of course the further you go, the more attacks you have, the more of a detriment that halberd is. So it's just something for the early game, I guess. Here is a dude that wants a tribute, of course. And actually, if you tell him that you have no money, you can actually have a duel with him that grants more experience. But I'm just going to kill him. Why shouldn't we just kill the whole lot of you hairy pieces of hyena dung? Had to say that.
Your concern, yes?
So I might actually cast some sleep from a wand. That disabled 2 of them. Oh yeah, Minsk is enraged. That's
Such mean.
why Jaheira is in trouble. See, that this is the thing about him. Alright, now he's calmed down. There's no enemies around him. You know, Minsk. He says packing steel, if you're wondering. There's some more guys coming.
I am here. Your concern? It is done. Yes?
I just want to focus fire my attacks here and not have Minsk enrage on us. It's actually nice that he was able to showcase that rage. It's beneficial in some circumstances, but you have to be careful with it. Oh yeah, our inventory is full because we got a lot of rings from Ingot. This scroll that she gave us, that little girl, is actually a beneficial scroll. It's kind of a... It's a little rare in Baldur's Gate 1 where you don't get cursed scrolls just like that. Those green ones. The green scrolls anyone can use. Those are one-time use scrolls. You can't learn a spell from them. They are a different type of scroll.
Your concern?
Alright, so now we are finished with this area, and in the next one we're going to travel north before going to the Knoll Stronghold, and we're going to have some more cool, exciting adventures, I hope. So I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.